As the family goes, so goes the nation, and so goes the whole world in which we live. Those are St. John Paul II's powerful words from 1986, but our next guest reminds us of that same essential message using her own words today. Leah Darrow is a former model turned Catholic speaker and author of the new book, The Other Side of Beauty. Darrow is also a wife and mother. She's currently 8 months pregnant with her 4th child. In part 2 of our interview, Darrow speaks to why we must first build a culture of life in our own home if we want to change the world. Leah, you are a mother to 2 young girls, possibly 3. We'll find out.
We'll find out soon.
What practical advice do you have for other parents so that when they are raising their young daughters, they can grow up to be modest and chaste, especially as we're discussing, we're in this disordered, kind of warped view of what that means today?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a new parent. I've only been a parent for 5 years. So I would never venture to say that I know it all. But there are a few things that I do know. 1, define your terms. Parents, define your terms. Define the word beauty for your girls, for your boys. Define love. Define God. Define happiness. Because we go after things that make us happy. And within that happiness term are those other terms of love and beauty. Mother Teresa was one of the most photographed women in the world at the time that she was alive. I mean, this is a woman who was barely 5 feet tall, wrinkles all over her face, hunched over because she took care of so many people, deformed feet because she refused to wear the right shoes. She always gave them away. And yet every time someone met her, the one thing that everybody said is that she was beautiful. So as parents, what we can do is that we can define beauty for our kids. We can let them know that it's wonderful that you can look cute in an outfit, but we're so much more than that.
Wow. Do you have specifically advice for parents of young boys so that they can truly respect women as they continue to grow in life?
Well, for one thing, parents need to just model these behaviors themselves. You know, dads need to be strong. They need to be talking. They need to see, kids will model the behaviors of their parents. So we need to take a look in. I keep going back to Mother Teresa, and there's a story that I love about her. There was a group of, when she came to the United States, there's a group of young women who came to meet her, and they were listening to her give a small talk. And one woman stood up and said, I want to come with you. I want to go to Calcutta. I feel called to help.
Wow.
I feel called to do this. And she looked at her and she just said no. And of course the woman was taken aback. It's Mother Teresa talking to you. And she just says to her, no, go find your own Calcutta. When Mother Teresa told that young woman that, I think that that's the same message that she and Christ tells all of us. Go home and love the poor. Go home and love your family. And it's really important as adults and as parents that we realize that it starts with us as the parent, me individually as mother, that I'm the poor, that there's poor in me, that there's brokenness within me that needs healing from Christ, that I need to look there so that I can be the example for my kids to let them know that beauty, that hope, that mercy are alive and well. That beauty, hope, and mercy have a name and have a face, and that's Christ Jesus. And I think when our kids can see that in our home, I think that that's when things change. I think that it's not always all these practical tools and Bible studies and conferences, although they're wonderful and they're great, but those won't save us. Only Christ saves us. And until that relationship is rooted, until our kids see mom and dad pray together, then we're going to continue having these conferences about sexual exploitation. Then we're going to continue talking about the prophetic nature of Humanae Vitae, and I don't know what to do. What we need to do is we need to go home and we need to pray and to love our families.
Leah, on EWTN Pro Life Weekly, we often are addressing abortion, but abortion, contraception, cohabitation, they're all connected to the body.
Absolutely. There's a huge connection, and I think anybody of faith knows that. They know the connection of when we don't define love in light of Christ, then things start to break down. we allow ourselves to be used for the sake of love. Cohabitation, sex outside of marriage, abortion, contraception, all of these things have been brought into our world in some effort to liberate us. But we've never asked from what. And we never asked, who is the one saying this? And there is a voice in this world that wants to liberate us, in a sense, from truth, from God. And that voice does not come from God. We know where that voice comes from. That voice is from Satan. That voice is evil.
I want to continue on with that. I mean, we're on the Global Catholic Network. You're a Catholic. Why do you think the devil, Satan, hates the body and attacks the body so much?
I think because we let him. Because we've allowed it. We've made our bodies in particular idols. They're golden calves everywhere. We worship them. I mean, how often do we really think about our spiritual life? How often do we think about our soul? I mean, so often, we could get on the scale and see the progress that we've made. What if we got on the scale and it told us the progress of our soul?
Leah Darrow, thank you for your insight and for your witness and for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you want to hear more from Leah and her work, you can go to her website, leahdarrow.com.